He will show up. Now the light is white. I'm just selling my doubts. But the results are like this. There's really nothing left to say. I can't believe the person I trust the most. He's the one who killed my father. Fan Gia fuck eyes, red nose, purple tie. He had a thick face and asked, "How to do it? How could you ever doubt me?" But China's answer is nothing special. Because you don't suspect him. We've never surmised who's the killer. I'm just pretending he knows how to cure the Lord. Then pretend to be injured. Who has the heart? I will definitely use this opportunity to kill you. If we don't come tonight, why? The ass knows for sure. He won't be able not to come. If I was killed at this point, then all sins will be laid on the head of the male. How could you miss this opportunity? When I heard that, his face turned white. Then out, you've talked to the southern tribe before. But the middle buttocks deny that it's not. Only it's just the time when they like 5 fights. But it's really coordinated. He finished listening and wanted to be stupid. Then what about internal trade? Clearly my own eyes see. You have been seriously injured. My ass is running out of water with this guy. What a stupid question. If you can't even fake it. I didn't put out this plan in the first place. You seem to have a lot of questions. But it doesn't matter now. Because what's important now is that you're trapped. It was you who murdered Lord Kwong. Suddenly, the old man heard it and laughed. Ha 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 ha. Outsiders look at, really don't understand. Did he accidentally inhale the wrong American grass? It's acting weird. I'm just going to assassinate your family. That can't be evidence. For wanting to assassinate the Lord's house. Battalion owner. Do you believe the words of this boy? This boy's reason. It's missing an important point. When he heard nothing, he asked again. He continues to perform his play. Why would I hurt the owner if I did that? He's been very kind to me. Neither the battalion master ever doubted me or SAO battalion holder withheld learning. So you're making fun of him. At this time, God's grace is lifted from all responsibility. Why would I want to kill this chief? He's so good at martial arts. But try to hide it. He's clearly illusory or the battalion leader here. All the names in the world. They have all failed to treat their hosts. But this kid can cure SAO. The more light you hear, the more the dog's blood flows to the brain. Then you should talk to me. You use this way to solve. What is the system? The victim called for a tragic accident. How do we explain it? The owner of the battalion didn't hear it either. Your mind is no longer normal. People who are enchanted, not listening to the words of others. Let's just get rid of this kid. The spirit of the host battalion will soon recover. That's the only way. If so, the owner received effective treatment and soon recovered. Middle buttocks here and itch, all the ass can't stand. Then speak up. Just say something. I have to stand here and listen to you. For some stupid reason like this. How long is it? Then he walked towards the old man. The hand radiates some power. It overwhelms all the surrounding air. Let's end this. Your dog seems to understand what you are doing. I will use my hands to bully you. To prevent the hand from bearing the opposing power. To touch people. Suddenly, choose hands buttocks after being touched by that thing. The green power suddenly becomes completely invisible. The hands also turn red from there. It looks very scary. Middle buttocks, raised hands, tinged with ripe plum. That deep for everyone. Come on, everybody pay attention. This is actually the power of evil spirits. It causes this phenomenon. The battalion master glowed at the young color. It seems so familiar that we often see it. Then, the buttocks start to explain. It's called grimoire, isn't it? I told you if you get caught. It's just within a row of food. The body will be red and exhausted to death. Although the current situation is not that far. But with this trick, you're more than capable of killing a person. In particular, the target is an ordinary old man. I don't know martial arts. It's as easy as turning back the hand. If you can point out a close friend of Lord Kwong, it's possible to continuously infuse the grimoire into him for a long time. Then we'll believe you're not the culprit. When you hear this, there is an answer. I can't hold back my anger and scream. Let's get him back. If you dare to resist, kill without mercy. Immediately 2 people holding the pig launch. Go straight to the old man in front of you. Goddess Grace is not so great as not to respond. He pulled his inner strength out of Ra and threatened her. It's almost going to end perfectly. If not for the boy. Outside the room at the same time. Then Lee Zibok is sitting idly. Think about life. By Kim Mong-song. His master had asked him to stay. Atonement by all means to obtain forgiveness of the master battalion, or you don't have to go back to South Korea. The elder's words were more like Jack's than order. He hasn't done anything yet. I had to sell myself in a foreign land like this. And then, suddenly, there's a big explosion nearby. He couldn't help but pay attention. When he was curious, he looked closer. Inside the hotel room is empty. I couldn't see a single person except the old man. He's just brought down the entire company. In the middle of the morning sky with my hands. The 2 men rolled back and lay on the floor. But with strength, the middle butt is still quiet. It wasn't hurt. This guy is so annoying. Now you've told me everything. I'm sure there will be a tearful reason. But let's talk about it later in court. I want to beat him up because he's too sleepy. The village is happy to hear your face. They want to beat me. That insolent son of a bitch. If we actually use magic knitting, will your family still be able to survive? You don't have a door. The middle buttocks replied, a buttery wake up, not me. You're looking for that AI to take over. He's here at the right time. I saw the figure of a young man with long shoulders, wandering late at night. Your ass looks happy over there. The hero of the South appeared to take down the evil ghost. The bewildered Lee did not understand what was going on. I've got a bunch of questions in my face. Are you here to save us? Then he asked me what I was doing. The buttocks used their sensitive mouth to signal him. Hey! And finally, the stupid boy can clear his brain. He looked up and saw the disgruntled battalion commander, frowning at him. The brain immediately began to understand the meaning of the Middle East. Maybe this is it. It's a great opportunity for us to fix this accident. Think about it. He's spitting, if that's the case. I will not pass up this opportunity. Looks, the White House seems to be much stronger than the insiders. He shouted at the Kier thief. Take the sword of my tribe. Only the buttocks are extremely satisfied with this. In 2 crazy blood wars, that shows off every stroke of his sword with pleasure. It's not your turn to have Chen's feet. Middle ass is satisfied. You've solved a problem. But the battalion is worried. It doesn't seem to be over yet. He'll get that old man soon enough. Even though we are disciples of a political party, we can easily get hit. From someone who's not as good at martial arts as he is. The commander of the battalion, who is not proficient in martial arts, is Sao. Before, it's clear that the major has been hit. The middle buttocks held out their slowly recovering hands. He's not lying. The fact that he knows the grimoire is true. But let the next thing happen. As expected, we used a little trickery. Let him see this for a moment. Now, Kwang Gong shakes his eyes. Look at the white hands again. Just like you said. He couldn't believe his eyes. To the point of asking the question. The leader is really a guru. He laughed excitedly, of course. More than that, I am the most experienced teacher in the world. The 2 of them fought each other in the room. Nearly 3 hours is not finished. The body in the ass. It hasn't been quiet since morning. Every minute you yawn short, yawn long. To the point of tears. You have to wait for everything to be arranged. 2 people inside. Feel free to fight for your own pleasure. I don't know how the outsider feels. What kind of fight? It's not over for more than an hour. God willing, let me do it myself. Finally, after so much struggle, the phone has fallen. As the ejection logic looks equally tattered. Only this time he won. His gray face sings out of breath. But I'm trying to make sure that everyone knows. Unsub. The unsub is under control. Battalion Master, I can see that they are also comforting. Your family has worked a lot. I'll never forget the Lord's help. I heard that his legs were no longer standing. Body wobbling around on the floor. Thank you, sir. So it's time to clean up the mess. Looking forward to the end of the reproach. It's been a while. The light has passed the fear. I just realized the person standing next to me. How can this situation be said? Difficult problems faced by the trade union in a recent year has been solved cleanly in just 2 days. This could have been solved as easily as this. Sao. There's no reason for that. If it's a simple problem. So why now? 01 AI knows the existence of the unsub. This chief, it's kind of like an old master soul. He's hiding in the form of a child. He felt very nervous. I asked this chief, why did that old man harm my father? Do you have any guesses about this? The Chinese replied innocently, I don't know. It's not the people who anticipated this. Or why not? What's the reason behind this? Then let optics do it. We're simply solving the problem. And get rewards only. Remember that you have prepared a reward. Turns out, it's still just a kid who wants fame. The public side. Of course. But it seems the mayor forgot an important thing. Then yes. Our problem hasn't been solved yet. I never asked the Major to come here and arrest the unsub. What we want. It's about letting my father wake up and heal. Can you do that? The eyes of the subject battalion look forward to. And you're also mysteriously laughing at spiders. Of course, the most handsome. The owner of the battalion heard it, and in his unspeakable agitation, he opened his mouth. If so, I promise definitely, I will use the full power of the company to help. Flower paint pick up. The middle buttocks heard here don't believe in their ears. I can hear you roll your eyes and roll your nose up. His hand is also holding him tight. I want to say things out of emotion. The owner also knows what you mean. Smile gracefully coaxing. The mayor doesn't have to be so grateful. That's of course. Are you kidding me? It's a stiff throat. Don't understand what? Middle butt's reaction is not just bizarre, it's the opposite of what he thinks. You shouted, the prize is for me. Paint the flowers. Why in the world? If you work, you can eat and sit and benefit. What kind of situation is this? The Lord knows your deep meaning. They also run out of words. No matter what we think. The result is only one. This chief, it's not a normal person. The next morning, the middle buttocks were taken to the hospital room. You sit still. Now we just need to cure Master Cho Kwong. It seems like everything here is done. It's not that difficult. In the process, even they can make the boys suffer. 7 is too much. There's only one big problem left. You confessed. I don't have enough confidence in myself for this model. In the beginning, it was because of the doctor that his mouth was so big. But if we take it seriously, is this old man's disease curable or not? It's still a mystery. You feel hesitant to think. Today's world is no longer the future of the world. It's like a chicken like me. It might cause the magic to explode. The explosion doesn't know. At that time, he had a weak body like this. You may not be able to die in time. But if you don't try it, I know it's possible or not. Your stomach is still moving forward. Put your hand on his pulse to check again. This time, it seems that the middle butt is determined to play all hands. You muttered you vow. If I'm wrong, don't be angry. Once again, the whole spirit of Chu Butt. Ray entered with magic. It goes inside the body. Something. Now your own soul will be searched. Inside my body now is a dark night. I can't see 6 or 5. My first time in a place like this. After the transition. You have to face the devil. It's a deadly poison. The scene in front of me was unbearable. There's magic all around. People are supposed to disappear at the last minute. Don't tell the 80-year-old. Ever since a strange step into this place, there's also an abnormal noise inside the magic. A serpent took over the old man's body, nosing bleeding with middle buttocks. You see, this is the beginning. It didn't take long to meet. If the magic is not good, it is also magic. I don't know my inner circle, whether or not we can get these things out. I saw a stranger barging into the neighborhood. He drew his sword ready to fight. Angry Cobra Boss immediately rushed to grab the prey. In the midst of a group of monsters screaming fire is rushing at me. The middle is forward, not backward. I swear I'll keep trying, until I can't try any harder. All the same dedication and trust. It's all on this sword. Every moment of illusion through. It's a body lying down. The serpents. It's just the venom of ordinary magic. You can't reach your body at that speed. Just the outer flesh. You can also seem to see clearly. The result is that you have some magic. It seems like the first step is to stop worrying, and the hordes get in the way. Looking at the spirit flower inside, I felt shocked. More than relaxing. You didn't expect that to happen. Even though there's nothing that can be said about this. Only part of the space has changed back to the usual blood blue. But I haven't seen the open view for so long. It's a higher level monster. Take the opportunity to attack. But the middle butt immediately. He came out in time to stop it. In all kinds of spirits. Then they just gathered and absorbed the purest spirits. If you don't do that, maybe your internal attack is 10 times stronger now. You don't have to be afraid of these guys anymore. But it's because of that picky. Today, it makes everything unbelievably easy. Outside, the old man's body was getting better and better. This is no longer a battle between me and magic. It depends entirely on how long can Master Kwong endure. It depends entirely on how long can Master Kwong endure. Decision-making approach. You're right in the center of your body. An extremely luminous supersonic wave. Erase all the ghosts in one note. Just try to hold on a little longer. We're going to end this in one fell swoop. The poisonous snakes began to wobble in a panic. There are movements again. It makes my ass feel very confused. Then you realize they're starting to run away from you. But you can't leave it like that. The goal is to eradicate the weeds. Where are they going? Mid-Buttock Province, to see the state of Lord Kwong. But the scene looks worse than it started. On his head. They all ran back to their heads. It causes the brain to condense. I can't just enter that part. If the attack fails and VA hits, Lord Kwong must have gone to greet the King of Hell, without even thinking about anything. Should I take a step back? To purify the whole body, and make itself radiant. God, I don't even have time to think. Going forward is dead and going backward is life. My ass is closing in on me, hot as a fire. This is not working. This is not working. The final decision is only one. Then we will neither advance nor retreat. This time your soul will go straight to your mind. See if they can run. Let's take a look at the outside. It's in this place. You use all your normal energy to get all the evil out of my body. This is where you're going to run. Magic is alive, struggling in the hands of middle buttocks stamping shot. The magic has entered your body. Soon LAN transmitted from the hand to the arm, up in the face and go on LAN out cheeks in the ass. It has a voltage of 100,000 volts. Paralyze the upper half of your body. Middle buttocks grinding teeth unconsciously. Give your hand tight. It's like restraining magic from harming Tim. But how powerful is the dark air? LAN transmission and dyed the skin of the mid-buttocks a horrible plum red color. Continue to invade the head of the brain. The mid-buttocks roll their eyes so that the whites and the pupils. He turned his head and finally couldn't bear to scream. Magma accumulates into photoelectricity, jerking cum-shot body middle butt. A few seconds later, you've managed to control part of your magic. So the operation returned to normal as the power was exhausted. Middle cotton fall knee. Soil-resistant hand, middle but trembling like a newborn golden deer. Despite the will and determination of the middle butt. Not allowed. Don't give up. Strong resistance to magic in humans. The buttocks have lost a lot of strength. Hand against the ground to hide the goods on the wooden floor. I'm about to lose consciousness. The self-respect of tomorrow. Don't allow that to happen. Middle buttocks grinding teeth in the heart. The dark red face because of the magic. My ass tried to fight. The image in front of the nose suddenly became pale. But in front of my eyes. Things are getting more and more vague. The ass clenched tight and the punch was not over. Against the ground to stand up. Just screaming in my heart. Wake up. If I lose consciousness, then everything seems to be over. The air in the crochet is like a small ray of hope. Based on determination and willpower to shine. If I lose consciousness, then everything seems to be over. This body is still too young, so I couldn't hold on very long. That's why in knitting. Air legs radiate warm fluorescent blue. Into the shape of the middle buttocks owner has appeared. I have to deal with this quickly. The sword in the hand. Balloons in front of a flood of magnetization. Discharge figure a large number of suppression. But you're not afraid. On the contrary, the air screams. You fucking spooks have to wait. The spirit of serialization is very good and malicious. They showed 2 sharp fangs filled with poison. A series of just released attacks. Middle buttock foot air reflector, according to veteran experience. Dancing contempt. Dodged a blow. Foot pedal on long body. The heart of the exhaust gas. It's like the wind distorting the air, moving upward. Middle buttocks directly shrink, feet jump up high. He held the sword and held it high above his head. A thin slash, as the thickness of a silk cloth appears. Instant LAN wide Ra Lam Kwong column. The buttocks cut off part of the magic. But it's only a small part. In the chaos of magic. Suddenly, your buttocks flashed the light. Turn your vision to the left. A dark color in the teeth. Fangs are very quickly exaggerated. What? The chemical exhaust gas plug giant takes a sip. Compilation central ass. However, in a moment, thin lines blue light appears on the skin surface of the chemical discharge magic. Immediately roll up Lam Kwong air leg, like a storm, sweeping to the bar. The giant is cut into 100 pieces. Middle buttocks flipped out of danger. He swung his sword and looked behind him. How could they transform into Ra like that? Middle buttocks landed, and the pieces of magical debris falling around. Their speed is dramatically accelerated. Is all in the ass worrying now? There was immediately an additional chemical gas spindle. Fangs swooping in, crazy. The middle buttocks just danced the sword. The crescent sword's optical welding cut off the magic. It's hard to use the eyes to keep up with their movements. A small light flashed in your middle buttocks when you moved the person behind you, for a moment startled. There's another exhaust gas ghost. It's huge at the same time. Pull to suppress middle buttocks. Immediately, the glare of the gas leg explodes. The sword's lines are constantly being danced. The net is cut. The spooky air floats around. Standing in the midst of a small rain of flushing magic. It's a little hard in the ass. Breathe for air. Parody sweat on the middle face buttocks frown. Compared to before, the situation has been reversed. When there's nowhere to run, they will gather to fight a battle of survival. Middle buttocks watching around a piece of cloudy darkness. Silently identified. Plus, I'm starting to burn out. If it lasts longer, I will lose. In knitting a thing, the outside has become something else. The skin in the butt turns a bright dark red. Horrible blue tendon. Surging frontal tendon when you're trying to control the air leg in the crochet. To destroy the magic. But the magic is seeping into my body. In the interior, middle butt, extreme gas legs fighting with chemical exhaust magic. The numbers are not just overwhelming, and turn malevolent fire dry. If they attack you. But it's true, they're getting worse and worse. Even as adept as middle butt. In the next second, I can't believe a serrated magic. You've got your fangs open behind you. This time, instead of swallowing your ass, it's eating you. The snake's body is both long and dense with magic. Middle butt Theo. The middle buttocks softly tightened the shining welding sword. My ass is ready to die. Suddenly, a large object hits your hand. Your ass is startled. Not enough to react. The sword was struck out of the hand by the large object. It's another delirium. It's gnawing at the arm. The middle buttocks look down the sword. It's getting worse and worse. The sword. The exhaust gas ghosts seem to think independently. And one by one, they're coming. Open mouth grab middle ass. Middle buttocks except neck and above. Then the whole body is gnawed under control. He gritted his teeth in anger and was a little helpless. God damn it, it's over. The air leg sword fell, slowly dissolving like a sponge underwater. Magic gas serialized gnawing body and butt. It's like gobbling up the air that's tearing you apart. A situation of great helplessness. I can't try anymore. Middle buttocks closed their eyes thinking of the sweat on their face. There's only that method. A method I don't want to use. A little bit of air is starting to fade. LAN radiates from the 4 central buttocks. If something goes wrong, my own body and spirit will be severely damaged. But there's no other choice now. The only way to get rid of it. There's only one of all the magic. That is LAN expansion of Dan to all for Chi 6 bodies. LAN's legs radiate throughout the body in the butt. And release the fly out toward the exhaust gas magic. Non-stop LAN radiating. It's like lighting up the whole area. Medium cotton. The form of the air legs glowed like the bright sun. Take the demonic gas back and forth. Just like that, you keep bringing the gas out. Then explode. Directly destroy the surrounding magic once. The Chinese suddenly opened their eyes. Blood spilled like spider webs in their eyes. You cry out in pain. Body point by point as the acupressure exploded into France. It's like there's electricity flashing in the ass. 2 eyes in the ass like a reservoir. Luminous light. He grinds his teeth through the writhing pain of torture. It's finally come to a point. I can't stand to grow up. The saliva splashed. My body is breaking up in hundreds of pieces. Her ass trembled violently. The magic fingers gradually turned to decay. The smoke is gone. The magic like a lake turned into blood smoke. Fly out of the middle buttocks body. Body suspended by legs. Middle buttocks slowly fall back to the floor. Hot air suspected of sucking out. Middle buttocks lying flat on the stone floor. Temporarily silent motionless sweat on the body. Middle buttocks heavy eyelids opened. Silently look at the glass ceiling. Suddenly, you're as big as a ghost. His hands rushed to the collar. Heart position tightening. Feel every steady breath, a little bit fast, suddenly. Life returns and expects you to sit up, hands on the ground. I almost died. I'll never do that again. My own level. We haven't solved this magic yet. Fortunately, I am still alive. The man in the bed returned to normal. Heal. The skin is no longer dark red. The magic is overwhelming. The spirit is more alive, even though it seems much more tired. Slowly opening the eyelids vaguely. He moved softly. My whole body was tired and moaned for hours. Middle butt, look through, discovered. Old man with long beard. He looked at the teenager next to him. The image in front of you is both dreamy and hazy, but he still asked me who I was. Smiling, I told you to wake up. Who is it, silly old man? Congratulations on waking up. Your ass grinned. We've just gone for a round of devil's magic. Then come back. What are you talking about? The old man's voice was surprised. The next morning, blue sky, white clouds, birds perched on the branches. Startled and flew out of the tree. Because of your brother, the crew of the abandoned house has come back to life. After Wasteland woke up, he quickly recalibrated the trade unions. If we don't show up, according to the plan of Bungza book, then he will draw all the people of the wilderness raw, then devour the assets of an lower trade union. It turns out that Bazabuk is a disciple of a Zhang family. Before he is a competitor of the great armor master. He was summoned in a sluggish form, trying to shed tears of lies and excuse Than Min, even though he tried to paint a tearful, grieving story. But what do you say? In this world, there is no such thing as self-doubt. If you make a mistake, you must be beaten. But the only thing we care about right now is... That's the origin of the ghost. He said he discovered this secret on the way to heaven, next to a body deep in the mountains. The middle of the mouth said it was a loss of interest. That's right. If he's one of the ghosts, there's no reason to be so obedient. Chinese cotton is not impressed by aesthetics. They are clean killers. If things don't go the way they want. Even though SA also caught the killer, and successful treatment for the wild man. It has also been clearly confirmed, there's no ghost behind it. The bottom line is that it's ended extremely well. Thanks to that, I have become a benefactor of the N League, and treated as a valued guest. Sun Tong high flavor, hot tea aroma wine, all are available for middle butt on request. Teen boy devouring, just eating and drinking a bottle of wine. I mean, it's very, very luxurious. Alone, a hearty table tray. Chew buttocks pick up the meat into the mouth, chewing air. It's like that in the bones of the room. Suddenly, there was a noise outside. Parents should be more careful when moving. The old man's voice replied, no wonder. On the contrary, we feel better. Even before I got sick. Open the wooden door, open the shadow, and two men walk in. Hello. Chinese cotton heard the call and looked up at the enemy. You're the one with the middle butt, right? Wild Angel's strict voice said. That's right. We met when you woke up. The teenager proudly confirmed. Or maybe I'm too fat. So you didn't realize? His ass laughing and scratching his head. That's it really. In just 3 days, which the mayor's men might say is twice as big. Before that, the leader of N's battalion fell silent. Wash your eyes. But what's wrong with everyone who's here? The ass asked. The wild Gentile coughed Khan a reply. It's embarrassing. I came here because there was a request for the mayor.